The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, good morning. This is John, and I've got my main man, Stephen Rounds, with me. Appreciate you guys waiting. We just had some technical stuff we had to address before getting this thing live, so appreciate you spending the extra couple of minutes on hold there, and apologize about that. Now, before we get started talking about the simple method to 5 or 6 figures a year, kicking it off for your 2013, ideally generating more money in 2013 than you have ever previously. Before we get to all of that stuff, let's real quick just do a little bit of the old admin. What Stephen and I like to do is we like to just make sure that you can see the screen and hear us talking. So Stephen, if you can give a big hidey-ho to everybody.
Hey everyone, good morning, and glad you guys are on the call. If you can hear both John and I, just give us a big, yep, we got you, we can hear you.
Okay, good stuff, good stuff. All right, so a couple of questions about whether this is being recorded. Yes, we are trying to record it, and although I can't guarantee success, we usually do pull it off. Sometimes just the issues with GoToWebinar files and converting them for people to view are a little bit painful, but we are indeed trying to record it at the very least. So that said, let's go ahead and advance on and get started. So, before we do start, that's me and my feet in my office. I do work from home, and while it does have many perks and benefits, one of the issues that I do have here at home is I have one of those on the left, German Shepherd, that's Gretchen, one of those in the middle, that's a Boxer, that's Dakota, and now one of these on the right, that's a tiny Boston Terrier puppy named Stella. The reason that I show you these 3 beasts is because they are prone to barking sometimes. So while I do everything I can to maintain a quiet atmosphere so there's no distractions for the call, I cannot guarantee that these 3 will stay quiet throughout the entire call. So you may hear a little bit of yipping and yapping, etc.
Yeah, I promise not to bark this time.
Good, good. So I just like to get that out in the open before we get started because it is bound to happen that someone's going to knock on the door or ring the doorbell and these 3 are going to go crazy. So just an FYI. So real quick, let's hit the agenda. So first, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a true story, something that happened recently, and just was a little bit of an eye-opener for me. So I'm going to talk about that briefly. And we're going to talk about digging into some of your own experience. We're going to get into this simple method that I've referenced in the last couple of emails that you probably received. Stephen has a very cool software demo that he's going to do for you, and yeah, I have allotted 20 minutes for that. Can't guarantee that that's exactly spot on, but yeah, just a possible, probable amount of time is 20 minutes, and then we're going to talk about how you can do this. We'll wrap up the call and stay on for any questions. So that is the quick and dirty on the agenda. And with that, let's go ahead and move into this eye-opener for me. So I live in, a middle class, maybe you could call it upper middle class, depends on, who you are, where you live. But I live in a, middle class neighborhood. And not too long ago, I was Googling my homeowners association, working on a refi, and I needed some info about the homeowners association. And something very odd came up in the Google searches. I never really thought to do any Googling by the homeowners association, but apparently the way that the county files the foreclosures in our area, and maybe it's like this everywhere. I'm not that familiar with the process, but apparently the way the county files the foreclosures in our area, the homeowners association is listed on each one. So the fact that I was Googling for the homeowners association, it was a common denominator, if you will, and I had discovered that literally 4 of my, when I say close, I mean literally within a couple of houses away, have gone into foreclosure, and 2 of those are actually very close to losing their homes, and I mean, it was kind of a shock. I mean, I know these folks, and a couple of them I know better than a couple of the others. It's not like we're best friends or anything, but we've all talked, we've all been to the block parties, we've all hung out at some point. I mean, I've been here for going on 7 years now, so gotten to know all of them at least to some extent. And it really was shocking because I just had no idea. I mean, from the outside looking in, these folks all seem like normal families. From what I understand, they all have good jobs. But something has happened with each of them, and for some reason or another, they've gotten behind on their bills, and it could be any number of reasons. It could be medical bills. I certainly am not going to ask them the details of what's going on. It's not my business, and I don't certainly want to embarrass them, or even that have them know that I know about this. But something has happened that has caused each of them to get drastically behind on their mortgages. And obviously this is causing those folks a lot of stress. Obviously there's some kind of money situation going on, and it's sad. It's sad to see this happening to people, and I know that this is not something that's just happening in my neighborhood. I know it's happening in other neighborhoods. I know it's happening in other cities, other states, and all over the place. This seems to be a fairly large issue, and it's unfortunate. It really doesn't have to be that way. There's things that anybody can do. Folks with no experience, with no technical skills, things that anybody can do to either add additional income into their bottom line, or totally replace their existing income and then some, and really make a killing. So certainly I'm not speaking to you with respect to the foreclosure, when I'm talking about this call, but I just want everyone to know that is here on the call today. No matter what your situation, you don't have to struggle to make the money that you deserve. You really don't. There are simple, effective methods out there where you can make, like I said, extra income or totally replace your current income, and it doesn't have to be rocket science, and that's really what we're talking about here today. So let's do a quick poll here, if I can figure this out. I guess when I did the loud noise disclaimer, I probably should have done a technology deficient disclaimer and let you know that there's a good chance that I will mess something up here. But let's do a quick poll. You should see in your GoToWebinar box a little poll box, and if I've done this correctly, I have launched the poll.
Hey, I see it.
Woo! So I don't know if that just pops up for everybody, or if you have to actually go into the box on the side. But this is, this is one of those things where, all right, it looks like everyone's voting, so it's good.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to give this just a quick minute here, and take a poll. So for everybody that's on the call, please get on. Answer the poll, and answer as honestly as you can, because honestly, it's not relevant to us if you've lost money or made money. We just really want to get a good sense of where everybody's at. So we'll give it just another 15-20 seconds here. It looks like we've got a little bit over half the call. Half the people on the call have voted. All right, we're getting there. All right, come on, guys, put in your votes.
Chugga. I think I can. I think I can.
All right, so it looks like the results are going to be pretty much what I thought they're going to be. With over 3/4 of you voting, for the other quarter of you that haven't voted, you can still get in there and vote while I'm chatting here. But over 3/4 of you have voted, and almost half of the people that are on this call have actually lost money online. And there's another 28% that have made up to $500, and then there's a smaller percentage of people that have made $500 to $1,000, and then another small percentage of people that have made up to $10,000. So quite a bit of the people on this call have not only not made much money, but have lost money. And then there's some that have made some money and then are making some money, which is great. It's good to hear. That's a pretty high percentage of folks on the call that are making money. But a lot of the people here not only not making much money, but actually losing money. And that's pretty typical because we're kind of in this, next big thing, shiny object syndrome, where you're getting deluged by emails, pitching everything, and it's easy to get caught up in that. All right, so let's go ahead and close this poll out.
Now do it right. There you go. Congratulations.
Now we're gonna try one more. Just bear with me.
I got it.
So we got one more poll open. So how long have you guys been doing this? Let's get a feel for how long the people on this call have been doing this. All right, so
you were talking about that last poll. That kind of goes along with the law of averages. And I don't care if it's real estate or internet marketing or what. I actually think internet marketing's a little worse than most of them. But there's usually a small percentage of the people that make any money, and we've got to turn that around so that the rest of the people are out there, creating more neighbors like you were just talking about.
Right. Well, and as I mentioned, I think it's easy to kind of get caught up in this next big thing situation, this next big thing, shiny bright objects, and kind of lose focus on following through with something that really works. So looks like we've got almost 3/4 of you have voted on the how long have you been at this. So interestingly, 32, 20, 50, so almost 70% of the people that voted on this call have been at this from 1 to 5 years. So some a little bit longer, some a little bit less, but 1+ years up to 5 years, and still we have a general loss of income or low income online.
Man,
so
it just shouldn't take that long to make money.
That's pretty telling, I think. So let's go ahead and close this one out. Thanks everybody for voting. I appreciate it. All right, so we're going to close this pane. So what I'm going to talk about today, what Stephen's going to show you, before we get into it, let's just talk real quickly about, does this work? And it does work. Now, when I say simple and effective, it doesn't necessarily mean you can't, you kind of sleep your way to riches. Stephen and I aren't about that. I mean, that's not the reality of this world. Simple and effective means that it works if you apply it. And here's some proof that it works for even bozos like myself. And I am totally a bozo.
I'll vouch for that.
There's no question. So in the middle of a product launch, and probably 18 million, I guess I'm slightly exaggerating, maybe 17.5 million other things going on, including the holidays and getting ready for the holidays, here's something that I did. I got a client for $20 a month. No big thing, but it's $20 a month. Got another client for $80 a month, another client for $100 a month, another for $100 a month, another for $80 a month, and another for $140 a month. I did that on my own in the middle of a product launch with the holidays pending. Now let's just do some quick math on this. That's 20.
Now I noticed that these weren't like online businesses, John. And they were all different, different niches, different areas.
Yep, these are local mom and pop shops, and I'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But definitely a good eye there. So what we're talking about here is $520 a month, which may not be huge, but that's an extra $6,240 a year that I added into my bottom line, even though I really was only kind of quasi-focused on this and had really a lot of other things going on. Another $6,000 a year I added quickly and fairly easily. And we'll talk about how this works in a second, but I'm not the only bozo in the world. So we've got another he's I guess an internet acquaintance of mine and Stevens, and we gave him this system the day after Christmas, and here's what he went out and did. So essentially, he went out and grabbed a client for $160 a month. Granted, one client, only $160 a month, but he did that within 24 hours of using or getting the system and starting the system. So does this work? Absolutely it works. Do you have to have any special skills, experiences? No. I mean, we'll talk as we get into what the system really is about. We'll talk about some of the things that you're going to want to have in your arsenal, if you will. But this is really something that anybody can do. It's a matter of taking the process and applying it and just going out there and getting it done. Now, Stephen mentioned that those proposals that you saw, and I showed you the proposals because I'm still working on my Stripe. Stripe is a payment processor, a very cool payment processor. I'm still working on having my developer get that set up to process some of those payments instead of taking checks, because I don't want to deal with checks. I'd rather automatic payments. Yeah, those are small businesses, and this is something that, because I'm sure people are going to ask, because not everybody here that's on this call is from the U.S. I'm sure we have people from all over the world. There are a plethora of small businesses across the globe. If you take a quick look at the stats, and I'm going to move this GoToWebinar box, but almost 28 million in the U.S., almost 6 million in Brazil, UK, almost 5 million, Canada, another 2,300,000, South Africa, almost 2 million, Australia, 2.2 million. There are millions and millions and millions of small businesses across the globe, no matter where you live. And no, I didn't forget most of Europe. As I mentioned, I'm not super tech savvy, and trying to manipulate the PowerPoint template to get that in there was causing some
Come
issues.
on, John. Where's the rest of Europe?
I know. I don't want anyone to think that I'm
couldn't get the stats on Poland.
But obviously, there's a whole vast array of small businesses everywhere across the globe. So, what's one thing these businesses are missing? Well, one thing these businesses are missing is mobile websites. And I'm sure you guys have heard, that mobile is growing, mobile is big, mobile is the future. That's not just talk. Now, there are statistics that say that 3 out of 5, and that's a huge number, 3 out of 5 consumers, and in some parts of the globe they only do it mobile, but 3 out of 5 of consumers are searching for local businesses on their phone. By 2016, mobile-based searches will overtake desktop-based searches for local businesses. That's pretty significant. That means that we are definitely moving away from the desktop and definitely moving towards mobile. And what's even more interesting is that over 70% of all small businesses are not mobile ready. They don't have mobile ready websites. So that creates a bit of an opportunity. And when you think about how you want to make money, what you want to do to add income into your bottom line, well, one of the simplest ways to do that is to provide something of value to people that have money and giving them something that they need. I mean, it's really, really simple. If you could come up with those components, something that has value, something people need, and those people have money, it's very easy to make money from that. And this is absolutely a wide open opportunity. And I don't know what to compare it to, maybe buying Google stock back in the day. But when you talk about 70% of all of those millions of businesses not being prepared for people to find them, that just creates a massive, massive opportunity. So just by being on this call and, really even no matter what you do after we're all said and done with this call, just starting to give this some consideration and kind of putting this in, putting on the thinking cap and, getting this in your brain, you're really potentially on the cusp of something pretty amazing. So let's talk about some methods from which you can monetize local businesses using the fact that they're missing mobile websites. And I want to say right here, the reason that we want to focus on one thing is because it's easy. What I mean is this. You know, it's one thing to try to present yourself as some kind of local offline expert. It's another thing to be that person. You know, if you're a local offline expert, you probably have contacts out there that, or yourself, you know, contacts or yourself that know SEO, that know web design, that know pay-per-click, that know reputation management. You know, there's a lot of potential things an offline business might need or might want to enhance their web marketing or their web strategy. If you go in, you know, with that large, it's not really a focus, but if you go in with the kind of that large attempt at grabbing a customer base, it's going to be much harder until or unless you have that experience of all of those things that I mentioned. So that's why we're going to hone in on this one thing right now, these mobile sites. So this is simple, this is effective, getting that 70% of small businesses that don't have mobile sites, getting them mobile sites. And the way that I do it, I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of these. I want to bring these in here so we're not constantly pressing the button. The way that I do it, the way that I approach this is by tapping into warm markets first. So, you know, people generally kind of have a little bit of a fear of, you know, approaching other folks from a sales perspective or trying to initiate business conversations. So think about the law of reciprocity. What that means is if you do something for someone else, they are probably more likely to do something for you than they are for somebody that hasn't done something for them. And this is really, truly a very strong law. If you've ever read the book, The 48 Laws of Power, this is one of them, and it's a biggie. So, you know, like for me personally, I've had a plumber in the house, I've had an electrician in the house, I've had a painter in the house. I haven't had a hairstylist in the house, but you know what I'm talking about. You know, I've had a lot of local businesses come out to my house, and I've paid them significant money over the years to do this, that, or whatever. Additionally, you know, get the hair done, get the teeth cleaned, go to the doctor, go to the veterinarian. You know, there's a whole number of these small businesses that all of us have interacted with at least once or twice recently, if not on a regular basis. This is what we call the warm market. These are people that are willing to listen to you, willing to talk to you, and willing to give you an opportunity to sell them something because you've bought from them. So one of the things that you want to do with these folks is you want to go ahead and, you know, do a quick Google search and find out who's mobile ready and who isn't mobile ready. And it's, you know, it's pretty simple. Look up their websites and then, you know, check their websites out on your device. If the averages hold true, if you're searching for a top 10 list of businesses just to get started, that's my recommendation. You know, if you're aggressive and you want to list the top 100 or whatever, get crazy. But, you know, I like to kind of take little steps with this. When we want to reach a goal, we have to make that goal achievable. So if you're looking up a group of top 10, you know, potential warm client businesses to kind of get started with, you want to look up, you know, those businesses' websites on your device, find out who's mobile ready, find out who isn't. If you have guys that are mobile ready, and there will be a couple of those out there, you can ignore those guys.
You know, I gotta tell you, I do the same thing, and what I found almost was that I was building the list for myself simply by being out and about, because I was, you know, out and my kid was late for his batting practice, so I had to call Mac and say, hey, you know what, Kevin's going to be late for batting practice, etc., etc. And I went to look up his mobile site. And, you know, I'm on my phone, I'm looking it up, and he's got this huge page, and I can't read it, and I'm like, oh, there's one who needs a mobile site.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and advance a couple more of these points here. Now, you've found the guys that are mobile ready. You've ideally created at least a list of a top 10. And then from there, the next step is we want to go ahead and we want to actually create a mobile mock-up, if you will. Give these guys something to look at because visuals are huge, including, you know, like click the call buttons or something along those lines where, you know, they're able to be reached easily. And the reason that I mention this is because that's really what most of these small businesses truly, truly care about. You know, they care about the fact that if somebody looks up Joe's Plumbing, all somebody has to do is press a button to call Joe's Plumbing so Joe's Plumbing can have their dispatcher get somebody out there. So create a simple mock-up, definitely have some kind of click to call, click to contact button on there. And what I like to do, get a copy of their original domain on my mobile device. And then since I use an iPhone, I can slide across pages, just with my phone, just do a slide between pages. Then I pull up the mock-up that I created, and I actually will show them, both of those. Now, what I recommend before you go in, before you talk to anybody, warm market or not, because warm market's the easiest, but warm market or not, get yourself some data. Talk about some of the things like that we talked about earlier. The fact that, web browsing is being overtaken by mobile, or desktop browsing is being overtaken by mobile. The number of, users, 3 out of 5 users are finding local businesses on devices. Arm yourself with some of that kind of information where when you go into a small business, you actually have some data that makes them think about, oh, shoot. So what you're saying is that if I stay, as is, the chances are that people aren't going to find me, and they're going to find, competitor XYZ instead of me.
Well, it's kind of like the new Yellow Pages. Nobody picks up the Yellow Pages anymore. People use their phone instead, and businessmen that I talk to, like, yeah, I'm still advertising the Yellow Pages. I don't know why I'm spending that money, but they're spending $1,000 a month for, a half-page ad or something, just to keep up with the other guy they're competing against. And when you can show them, hey, you know what, you can get ahead of that other guy now by having a mobile-ready site, and people will use your site instead of going to the next thing and clicking off your site when they're on their device, that they'll, push the button to call you. It's pretty powerful stuff, especially when you can show it to them.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and it certainly helps your pitch if you recognize that when people are paying for Yellow Page listings, oftentimes that's many thousands of dollars a year they're paying for that. You can talk to them about saving money and getting better results by switching from Yellow Page listings to to paying you. Now, what I pulled up for you here is just one resource, something that if you're going to dive into this and you're going to go make money with this, this is a nice resource where you can get some data, get some background information, compile some things to kind of help you talk to these folks. And the fortunate thing is once you do talk to them, when you have that visual of the original site versus a mobile-ready site, it makes things so much easier because there's such a wow factor with the mobile-ready version. But here's just one resource, and there's plenty others where you can go, you can get some good data. Also, you can kind of stay, in touch with. I know that they've got a number of slide presentations on this site, throughout the site, where you can find all kinds of information about what the online trends are, what the mobile trends are, things that will really help you kind of develop an expertise in this field, so that when you're talking to individuals, you've got information that helps them kind of see the light. And that is resource.reachlocal.com. All right, let's see if we get the right one. Nope. There we go. Okay, so we already talked about going into the business owners. Literally, what I do is I do a slider with my finger, and I show them the difference between the sites, and the visual is, it's huge. Literally I have people going, wow, or awesome, that kind of thing. And you don't get that visceral, real reaction from people that often, but definitely when they're not mobile ready and you show them something that is mobile ready, since most of these guys don't have marketing experience, online experience, is just a big impact.
Well, especially when you're showing them their stuff mobile ready, that's so powerful. Crazy.
Absolutely. So that's the old knocking on the door. Even though it's the warm markets, some people will say, yeah, that's not my bag. I don't want to, I don't want to talk to anybody in that respect. I don't want to call on people. I don't want to ask the people that I, use as, a provider of some kind of service, for any return favors, et cetera, that's fine. If you don't like to sell, I get it. I'm not somebody that wants to run out and knock on every business door that exists in my town and spend all day long shuffling on the streets. So totally get it. I'm right there with you. So there are some other options for you to kind of leverage your time a little bit better without necessarily having to be the door knocker, but yet still taking this mobile website approach to building a significant income. Now, one option, you can get, there's lead software out there. There's Buyer Arbitrage. There's something called Local Lead Maximizer, and I think there's other products probably of a similar nature where you can, do some keyword searches and basically find, with Buyer Arbitrage, that's a tool where you're going to find people that are placing ads within like Craigslist or Fiverr. So you're going to be able to find people that are maybe placing ads for website help. Like if you have Buyer Arbitrage, and I think it's $47 or something. You have Buyer Arbitrage, you do a keyword search for websites, and there's probably going to be thousands of ads that pop up of people basically looking for website help. These are people that it's an opportunity to email them and talk to them about providing them with mobile websites, mobile versions. Local Lead Maximizer. This is a way to kind of quickly tap into a large group of a specific niche, like plumbers, as an example. So these are tools that you can use to quickly find potential leads, and then go ahead and email these people. Give them a little bit of a pitch, give them some screenshots of here's what their site looks like on a device without your help, and then give them an after, show them an after with with a mobile ready website, and you're definitely going to close some deals that way. The percentage is going to be smaller than if you're kind of doing the FaceTime, because it's a lot easier to ignore emails than it is somebody that's right in front of you. But you're still going to be able to close deals by doing that. You're just going to have to put in more time for volume. So you have to focus on a larger group of people to close a smaller number of people. But you're not out, beating the streets, so to speak. Or you can take another approach. Yeah, there we go. I knew something was going to make a noise. Let me turn down that volume. Or you can take an approach similar to what I did. You can outsource the stuff that's a pain in the ass. So I went ahead and I posted a Craigslist ad. After I did my initial sales, I don't have time to, frankly, go out and sell. And at some point I'm going to give myself an aneurysm if I try to take on too many things. But this is something that I'm very serious about building for myself in addition to my other businesses. So I posted an ad on Craigslist for a salesperson willing to work on a commission basis. And these people are out there. I don't know if you've ever had anybody knock on the door and offer to sell you steaks. I don't know if you've ever, been out getting gas or something and someone cruises up in a van full of speakers. The reason that I point out, these guys is because there are definitely go-get-em sales guys that have no problem going out and talking to anybody and everybody to close deals. And these are the type of guys that are willing to work on a commission basis. They are definitely out there. And you can use Craigslist, other, classified ad tools, maybe local colleges, post job postings there. But you can use a number of kind of classified ad type tools and post ads to hire a salesperson on a commission basis to go out to these businesses and sell mobile-ready websites for you. For me personally, ad I placed, I actually ended up with 12 replies and 3 viable salespeople, one of which is supposed to hit the ground running after the first. He's ready to roll. We've talked a couple of times, done some training. He is going to, get out there, and this guy actually has contacts. He already networks with the local Chamber of Commerce. So he's already built in, ready to go with people that he knows that he wants to hit. So I know that we're going to pick up other clients. And I look at it this way, every 10 clients, if it's an average of $100 a month, that's an extra $1,000 a month coming in. Now, granted, I have to pay him a commission off of that, and I'm going to pay him a 50% commission. You can do whatever you want in terms of commission structure, but to me, it's found money. You know what I mean? I don't have to go out and do the hustle and grind like he does in order to get that money. So I'm willing to pay a premium, and ideally, you know, as he sees his money grow, he's just going to get out there and get more hustle and grind under him. So definitely use that as an option. Literally have somebody else go and do the dirty work for you. Honestly, you know, this is one of those things where, you know, people start putting up the barriers, the walls, going, you know, I'm afraid I don't want to talk to anybody that might sell for. Why not? You know, there's people out there that are willing to do that to make money. Why don't you go ahead and give them an opportunity to make money for yourself? Okay. Now, here's an even better way to leverage your time. I don't think I've ever heard anyone really talk about this. And this is something that, you know, honestly, we want to keep to the people on this call, you know, and the people that see this webinar, because this is super cool. You know, this is a very sweet strategy for taking what we talked about and really leveraging your time to add a lot of income. So you see here, I've got a screenshot of LinkedIn. Well, let's go ahead and pop into Firefox here. So here, I'm logged into Steven's LinkedIn account, actually. Now, you notice up here in the top of LinkedIn, if you don't have a LinkedIn account, you'll obviously want to get one. But got your home, got your profile, got your contacts, and then you've got groups. Pretty much you can ignore everything else, although at some point you may want to flesh out your profile to kind of fit, you know, what you're doing. But check out these groups. There are groups out there for just about everything. Now, I mentioned plumbing before. So let's go ahead and look at some of these plumbing groups. Here we see one, 1,660 members. That's probably a pretty good one. Home service professionals, very active. That's a good one. This one right here, 3,500 members. That's probably a good one. What we want to find is we want to find groups that have, like, you know, close to 2,000, maybe more individuals in, you know, or maybe more individuals within the group. And what we're looking to do is actually find the owner of that group. So we'll hit view. We're actually looking to find that owner of that group. And this one may not have it listed right here, but we're looking to find the owner of that group so that we can reach out. Let me just find, here we go, LinkedIn group. Of course, did I just join the group?
Yeah, what happens is when you click on join the group, it will ask to join the group, and some groups are set up to let you join automatically, and some actually require approval.
Yeah. I pressed the button, but I pressed the wrong button. Let me go back and check.
Show them the right one.
My system runs slow because I'm on GoToWebinar, so my screen is jumpy. But instead of clicking the join, you want to just click on the group itself or the icon on the left, and then what you're going to see right here is the owner of the group. Now, more often than not, especially if these guys are, you know, plumbers or attorneys or electricians or whatever themselves that have started the group, that own the group, more often than not, these guys really have no idea what affiliate marketing is or have never really thought about being paid as an affiliate. So what you can do with these groups, again, you want to find 2,000 or more, most likely, and maybe you don't want to start off too big, so some of these have like 100,000, 200,000, you know, maybe you want to kind of stair-step your way into it. But go ahead and reach out, contact these individuals that own this group or own the groups within, you know, various niches, and explain to them, you know, hey, listen, you know, some of the data that we talked about previously, here's kind of what's happening in the mobile space. You know, here's how people are finding small businesses. Surely it would be of value to the people within your group, you know, to learn more about how they can get mobile, how they can, you know, attract an online audience in a marketplace that is going mobile. And then tell them, and listen, you know, just for doing that for me, for allowing me the opportunity to present, or to do a presentation to the people within your group, I'll pay you XX% commission. This is going to get a lot of these people's attention. And the beauty of LinkedIn, similar to like Facebook, the beauty of LinkedIn is that a LinkedIn email is not going to go to the spam box. And when this owner of this group sends this group a message, it's going to get to every one of their inboxes. These people are not accustomed to the type of internet marketing that we're all accustomed to, where we're getting slammed upside the head with internet marketing opportunities 17 times a minute. They're not accustomed to that kind of thing. They're going to be much more open to seeing presentations, to listening to what you have to say. And if you do it in a way where there's a lot of content and a lot of value, this is really an opportunity for you to put multiple, tens if not hundreds of clients into your portfolio in one fell swoop. So this is absolutely a sweet, sweet way to totally leverage your time. Now, granted, you're going to pay this guy, in this case, Anil, you're going to pay him a commission, but so what? For the price of one hour webinar presentation to these individuals, where you share, the data about what's happening with mobile, why it's so important that they are mobile, and then showing them how you can help them be mobile. For an hour, if you could pick up, 10 clients at $100 a month, and I just keep throwing that number out. I mean, you can price it any number of ways, but that's an extra $1,000 a month for you for 1 hour's worth of work. Slice off 50%. That's an extra $500 a month for you for 1 hour's work, and what, $6,000 a year for one call. And do a few of these, and that starts to really add up. And I'm trying to be conservative with the numbers. I mean, if this has 1,660 members, and you get 1,000 people that show up, and you get 20% of those people to close, that's 200 people that have become your customers for 1 hour worth of work. So the opportunity here is absolutely enormous. I don't know of a lot of people that are doing this, so definitely keep this one to yourself. Don't run around sharing it with everybody, but look at this as an opportunity to leverage your time and absolutely give people something that is valuable and something that they need. All right. So that is the LinkedIn approach. So we went through all this methodology of simple and effective methods of generating income by providing local offline businesses with mobile websites. But some might be saying, okay, I don't know how to create mobile sites. I don't know anything about mobile sites. That's the missing piece here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab myself a couple of sips of coffee, and I'm going to pass you on over to Stephen. Stephen, are you with me?
Yeah, just give me a second here. I don't know where I'm at. Hold on. I got to find your demo time slide so we have at least some level of continuity there. All right, I'm with you. You can feel free to pass them on over.
That's good because I've already started drinking my coffee.
I hope it's warm. I know you guys are freezing out there.
Mildly warm. Okay, you are the presenter, and I am seeing my screen still. Let's see.
Yes, you are. Oh, I'm seeing my screen, right? Is that me?
So now, yes, that's your screen.
See, we're doing the technological dance right now. All right, I'm going to close this out. There's a better way to do this. Let's see here. How about that? Does everybody see that?
Yay. Yay.
Okay, okay. See, even I can get challenged sometimes. Okay, so as John was saying, this system works, and it works because it's so simple. Now, the key to it is setting up mobile sites. And a lot of people say, well, gee, I don't know anything about web development. I don't know anything about mobile sites. None of that matters. Okay. And you can chime in here and add to it, John, but I'm just going to kind of go through here and show you guys how the software works. Now you could manually go out and create mobile websites for people using the information that we gave you, and that's fine. But we're going to show you a tool that is literally going to make mobile sites called webinar2. Allow you to make mobile sites in seconds, not minutes, but seconds. So when you get a client to sign up, you don't have to spend hours building that website. You don't have to, farm it out. You're certainly welcome to outsource it, but you don't have to do it because it is so quick and easy to do using this tool. There's nothing like this available to you elsewhere. You can't buy this anywhere else. So let's go ahead and just do that. So in my town of Chico, we have this place called Chico Yard and Pool. And this is what their website looks like. Pretty standard small business website. And if you were going to try and take this mobile, you would have to go out and get some kind of mobile website builder and then figure out how all the links go together and what buttons to use and all that good stuff. And if you look at this on a mobile phone, it's just a tiny, tiny little website, and you can't find anything. There's no call me buttons. There's, I think about the only thing that works is the Twitter button on it. So let's say you're going to go meet this guy. You know the owner of Chico Yard and Pool. He comes and services your pool, or he comes and mows your lawn. And use some of the same techniques that John talked about in the previous slides. Before you talk to him, next time he comes out, go over here to webinar2, and all we do is we grab the link right from the top here. We select copy, and let's name it Chico Yard, and you paste it here. And you click go, and it's actually going to convert this website into a mobile website for him. Let's make sure that it works. Okay. I don't know why I got signed out there. Okay. So I obviously got signed out there for a reason. I don't know what happened, probably because it was sitting for so long. Now it went through and it created a mobile website based on this. Now you'll notice here we've got a little bit of a logo. It misinterpreted the logo, so there might be a couple things that you need to do. Change it. Now these are all his pages. It's fully functional. Maybe we take this and we delete it so it doesn't show up. Now this is a fully functional mobile website for him. It's got all the pages. Right now this is the request estimate page that we can go over here and edit this. We can go over here and see the contact page where you go enter your name, email address. So let's say we like this image and we wanted this to be his logo. We select this, make that the logo, and it's going to pop up to the top. Now that will show up on every page. Click save on that. As you see down the right-hand side, as I'm clicking and changing highlighting color, these are the actual pages that we would be editing and working on then. And you'll notice that the buttons stay the same between pages. Okay? And that's important because that works for navigation. Now what you don't see here just yet is a call me button. If somebody were to go here, that's part of the form. There's no button for call me. So to add a call me button, simply go over here to enhance pages and add a click to call button. Call me, and his number is 530-520-1996. Click Add to Website, and now it's added the Call Me button there. And then you can put this above or below the existing menu. And now the main page has a Call Me button. Got a form you can submit. Now, some of the things, because we've already grabbed these links, we don't necessarily need these links to be duplicated here. So we just grab them here, select them, click delete, and they're gone from there. Now the Facebook and Twitter buttons, those are good. He's got a coupon that's usable. Here's the information. You didn't have to type in any of this information. It just pulled him down right from his website. He's got a couple of graphics there. You know, again, maybe we don't need all this stuff. Group select it, delete it, take off somebody else's design elements, maybe put your own in. And that page is ready to go. Now there's additional things you can do. Now this website is ready to go as is. If we were to save this off, the website is ready to go now. What did that take? Just a couple minutes, John? If we were actually to use this, you could actually put this on his site. You take this code snippet and put it in the header on his site. You can email it to him. You can do it yourself if he's a client of yours. And instead of somebody seeing this when they go to his website, you know, and the mobile phone would open super small, what'll end up happening is I'm going to shrink this down so it'll look like a mobile device. There we go. So this is what it looks like on their mobile device. So instead of seeing something like this, or even smaller, because in my experience it just shrinks the whole websites down to completely unusable, they get this, where all the buttons work, Call Me button works, their contact information button works, and the website is essentially completely built for them. It's got all the contact information, it's got all the same information that are on each of their pages here. You know, like if you go over here to home, here, it's got a form, Chico Yard and Pool, go here. This is the exact same text that was on their web page. Now, that was quick and easy. You know, that's one of the important things behind this. Now, of course, what you can do is you can actually spruce this up a little more. If the customer comes to you and says, that's great, but let's clean this up a little bit. So we can easily change our design and themes. Maybe we want to give him kind of a blue feeling since it's a yard and pool company. You just click this, and now the website's got a completely different look and feel.
Yeah, while you're I guess before you go further than that, let me just interject here. So, yeah, there's a lot of mobile website builders. I'm going to use the word builders out there. But go back to the main Chico Yard and Pool site for a second, Stephen.
Okay.
So if you look at this website, and you're using a builder to create a mobile website from scratch, you have at least 4 pages. I see 4 tabs that you're going to have to create. You're going to have to add, it looks like there were some lead capture forms on there on multiple pages. There's
probably images.
Yeah, and there's actually other pages down at the bottom there. I don't know if those are all...
They're duplicates.
Okay, but so a minimum of 4 pages. You're going to have to add a couple of lead capture forms. The amount of time and effort to basically build a site, even with content already existing, that's going to be fairly significant. I mean, you're going to spend some time making even just a duplicate of this with just a mobile website builder. The beauty of what Stephen has shown you is that you are not starting from scratch. You literally have a mobile-ready clone, and the simpler the main site, the easier, the better it looks after you push the button. You know what I mean? But you have a mobile-ready clone, regardless of how simple or complex the original site is. That is literally ready to go, mobile-ready. From there, you also have the ability to enhance. Stephen has shown you, how to add a logo, already, so that the logo just shows up at the top of every page when they click every button. How to add the call me button, which, as I mentioned before, is so critical for most of these folks. Most of these folks just want someone to call them. But also changing the look feel with a quick click with with that theme change there. And then of course Steve will go through it some more here. There's a lot of other things that you can do with MobiMimic to enhance the look feel, edit content, etc. But the point is, you are absolutely not starting from scratch. You are taking an existing version of the site and maybe enhancing it, maybe not, but just giving it a little bit of your own minor attention in order to have a completely ready-to-go mobile site for a potential client. And where this really helps out is, I guess, in two ways. First, the amount of time that it takes. If you want to go into a potential client, whether you go to their office locally, or whether you are going to show this to them by email, with screenshots, or whether you're going to do a webinar with LinkedIn and you're going to show kind of before and after options, you don't want to spend a ton of time on every single potential client site, because you're going to spend a lot of time building sites, from scratch. Here, you have the ability to whip one of these out in like 10 seconds, enter the URL and press the save button, and give people a quick, mobile mock-up and give them an idea of what it'll look like. And then if they're ready to close a deal, at that point you can go ahead and do some, some minor edits and some tweaks and enhancements to give it a kind of a final polish.
Yeah, and while John was talking, you saw me go out and play a little bit and add the title for Chico Yard and Pool just by selecting here and clicking add content. And you can add content here, you can add video, we can insert a vertical empty space if you wanted to get some more spacing correct. We could put a new button on there, if you wanted to add a special button for somebody, you want to add a pay now button. Select this, if PayPal, like here, click here, pay now, and then you could put your PayPal link here so that people could pay you now. You could do whatever you wanted with this. Let's see what else. We can add a banner, which is basically just a large button that doesn't have an icon on it. We have an easy way to add social links in. And the way this works is you don't have to go get the whole link. All you need to know is what the particular social ID is. So here's another one of our free products here, Hypershrink. We click on update and it adds the Facebook button here. And if we were to do the same thing, that adds a Twitter button in. You can show them horizontal, you can show them vertical, and then when you update these and save them, now those are fully functional social links that are on their website. Those are above the buttons. You want to move the buttons up, you simply drag and drop here, rearrange the content any way you like. If you wanted to have this coupon up higher, or the customer wanted to have the coupon up higher, drag it up there. So it's very simple. The other things you can do, we can have a mobile map. We've got click social links. You click make a mobile map. You just put, find me, and then you go to Google Maps, get a Google Maps link for this, and put the information in, and it will automatically add the Google Map form just like it added the call me button. And I could probably spend an hour going through everything on here, but the important thing is to show you guys just how simple and easy it was to use and how quickly it created a website. If you were to, I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now if you were to go here, and I'll type this in, you actually go look at this in your mobile phone, you will see that this mobile website is, I'm going to how do I send this? Here we go with technology again. Entire audience. Paste. Okay. So I just sent this out to everybody. If you click on that if you go there on your mobile device, you will see this mobile website. It is fully functional right now. And when we changed the design on this, it changed the design on all the pages. So we go back here and refresh this. Again, look at it like it would show up in a mobile device. This is what it would now look like in a mobile device. Probably more like this, huh, John?
Yep.
And as they would scroll through it, here's all the information they would see. And they click on Request Estimate. It's got all the details in there just like it was before. Contact Us has the forms where they can, people can fill out from their mobile device and send in.
And those forms work. I mean, that's the beauty of it is you don't have to do any of that stuff, the coding, any of that nonsense. I mean, certainly you can add, those types of things if it's not there and you want to, but you don't have to. I mean, basically, this site is built, and obviously Stephen's trying to go through all of the potential elements that you might be able to edit or things that you can do, like adding the social links, with a couple of clicks. So, but you're not going to do that on every site. Some of them you just drop and drag and drop the logo and add a call me button and you're good to go. So the beauty of this is while you certainly have the capability to make it beautiful and fancy, it really in a short amount of time allows you the opportunity to blast out mobile sites, and once it's done, it's done. So if you get a client that you're charging $100 a month for this, if this client's paying you even $50 a month for it, whatever the amount, you're done. And if a client wants some edits or wants to change some content, change the price, charge more. I mean, you're charging them for basically having built the mobile site and maintenance of the mobile monthly maintenance, and if they want extra work done to it, you charge more. But one time, otherwise, and you're done.
Yeah, and if you wanted to make custom colors and things like that, it's easy enough to do. You just do a custom design, and it'll just change back to the default, and then you can go in here and customize your site design. And you want to change the background color, maybe make the background color kind of a blue. Set that, and it's done. You want to change the button color, make a darker button. Set that. Maybe you want to make the button text color, change them to white icons. The button text color we want to make white. Okay, so you have full control over what the site's going to look like. You could even use a background image you want. If you add a background image, you can repeat it X or Y, or you can have it fixed so it scrolls along. There's just no limit to what you're capable of doing. You don't have to do it because it worked right out of the box. As soon as we entered the information, the site was built and it was fully functional. And it's something you could show to the guy. You go, and the way you do this, why don't you explain it, John? You're much better explaining some of these things. I'm great with the technical stuff, but
yeah. So listen, if I'm going to Chico Yard and Pool, what I'm going to do is on my iPhone, and understand I have an iPhone, not an Android or BlackBerry Curve or whatever other.
My Android does the same thing. I press a button and then I can flip websites.
Yeah, so on my phone, when I pull up Safari on my iPhone, I enter a URL. I can swipe over and enter another URL. So what I will do is, if I'm going into Chico Yard and Pool, I'm going to pull up their main website on my phone, and I guarantee you, on my phone, that main website is going to be barely legible. And in order to get contact information, it's not even going to look like that. The text is going to be tiny. It's not just a window that shrinks. It's everything. Their entire website is going to show up basically on one screen with maybe some minor scroll. And it's going to look tiny. So in order for me as an end user to try to contact them or find out anything, I'm literally going to have to, rotate, pinch and squeeze to expand the page. It's pretty much a worthless mobile site. So I'm going to have that ready for them to look at, and then I'm also going to have, the Mobi Mimic link that Stephen had pointed out that he actually pasted there into the chat for everyone to see. I'm going to have that up and ready as well. I'm going to first show the small business owner, I'm going to show them their site and say, what do you think of your website on this device? And they're going to probably say something to the effect of, it looks okay, or it's doing the job or whatever, right? I mean, no one's really going to rip on their own website. Then I'm going to say, well, what's the point of the website? Is the point of the website to contact you? And again, most of these small businesses, that's exactly what the point of the website is in their mind. They want people to call them and give them business. So they're going to probably say yes. And if they say yes, you're going to say, well, how easy is it for them to do that on your site? Hand them the device. They look at it. They try to find their phone number or a way to, get a phone call off the device. And more often than not, it's going to be very difficult for them to do. Take the device back, do a flip, to the next screen, show them this, and then it's got the click to call button right there. Maybe even press that and say, what do you think about on this device or on this now? How easy is it for the end user to get a hold of you? That kind of visual is enormous. It's got huge impact, and it's absolutely an easy way to help close deals. Follow that up with some of the data that we talked about earlier. Listen, 3 out of 5 people are finding small businesses on mobile devices. So that means, if your website stays as is, you're only getting 2 out of 5 of those people potentially as customers, more than likely. In 2016, mobile search for local businesses will exceed desktop search. So your desktop website is basically going the age of the dinosaur, and it's going to be worthless. Why don't you have this mobile site ready to go? They're going to say, oh, I don't know anything about it, or it seems too expensive. And that's when you have the opportunity to say, look, it's not that expensive. How much would you pay a month for this? Let them help you price it if you're not comfortable with pricing. But that visual, being able to slide, whether in email, video, on a webinar, or in person, being able to show them the before and the after is just huge, huge impact.
Okay, so a couple people are kind of asking some questions about this, and all this stuff is resizable. You can edit this stuff. One of the things you can do is we've got a little edit button in here. So when you click on edit here, you've got a full feature editor. You can edit properties, change the links so they click around. There are anchors and stuff like that. So you have full control if something doesn't look quite right, but 99% of it's going to work right out of the box, and you can create a demo website in just a few seconds. Anything else you want me to show from here, John, or should I pass it on back to you at this point?
Yeah, no, let's go ahead and pass it back. I think that's that's good. I mean, you have the opportunity to create a website in a couple of seconds, and then you have the opportunity to, really retool that website to whatever extent you want to.
Okay, I passed it back.
Yeah, let me.
I don't see you.
Yeah, give me 1 sec here. I'm trying to get my.
Alrighty.
Okay, so are we seeing the screen on my end? All right. So, remember the 3 things that we talked about earlier before we showed you the demo. With MobiMimic, that's kind of the missing piece, right? We talk about selling mobile websites to these businesses. It's something that has value. It's something that they need, and it's something that they're only going to need all the more as time goes on. This isn't going anywhere but up. So, 3 ways to profit now that we've kind of brought the MobiMimic piece into the mix. Selling straight to the local client. Start off, as we talked about, start off with your warm market, your own plumber, your own electrician, your own painter, whatever. Go right to their place of business, or next time you have them out, do it directly with them. Do the swipe on the phone, show them the before, show them the after. Really, really easy to do with that added visual. Once you build up a portfolio of customers, maybe you can start branching out, to some colder markets yourself. Maybe that gives you a comfort level now that you have some testimonials. Or, you're not comfortable with that. We talked about the lead software products. There's an opportunity for you to secure business through email marketing. Just remember, if you go that route, if you're finding leads by email, it's going to be much more of a volume play. You're going to close fewer people without that personal interaction, but it's still feasible. And then hiring it out really going to help you leverage your time. You know, you can kind of be the puppet master. You can be pulling the strings. You know, you quickly make the mock-ups of the site. You let these guys go out and let them do the hard work. Sure, you pay them a commission, but it's money for nothing for the most part, other than kind of managing the accounts receivables, who owes you money, etc. And aren't those the kinds of problems you want to have, right? Like you don't want to have the problems of, oh crap, should I buy this next great thing, and will it actually work, and you know, blah blah blah. No, wouldn't you much rather be worried about your accounting and, you know, how much money is coming in this week and what are your payouts going to be to your salespeople? Those are the good problems to have, right? So that's another opportunity. Hire it out, build a sales team of your own. And then the third one, I really, you know, I don't want people going out and talking about this to everybody, because really it is a cool technique that I'm not seeing anybody else really doing a lot of, and I'm sure there's others that are doing it, but you know, I'm not hearing a lot of people talking about this, so let's kind of keep it close to the vest. But tapping into LinkedIn, using groups, and then finding groups within certain markets like plumbing or electricians or whatever is an excellent way to get your product, your mobile website product, in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people that are very interested and are a captive audience, really wanting to know what you have to say and what you have to show them. There's an opportunity right there to, I think, make, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars with fairly minimal effort. So those are kind of the three methods that we talked about. So now with that, this is definitely a special invitation. So what if you had your own MobiMimic system, the system that Steven showed you, so you could create mobile sites for any small business, and as you saw, it's very point and click, drag and drop, push button, and the proven sales strategy, the strategies that we talked about, so you could generate small business customers through your own efforts, through sales teams, you know, using LinkedIn like we talked about. Basically everything you need, the strategy and the system to begin generating 5 to 6 figures, you know, this coming year, 2013. I mean, it's, you know, it's that time of year where people are making resolutions. Maybe it's time to make a resolution to, you know, really make this your year. And really, with this tool in hand, I mean, you know, I talked about it early in the call. I literally had 18 million things going on, and I still went out and closed deals within 7 days. I mean, you could have cash in hand within a week, within days, if you really put in effort. So consider this. Remember, we talked about some data. By 2016, desktop search for local businesses is basically going the way of the dinosaur. So you have millions, hundreds of millions of small businesses that will not be properly represented on the internet, because right now, and this is only going to go up to 3 out of 5 people are searching for local businesses on mobile devices. That means when they find those sites like that Chico Yard and Pool, when they find that site, they're probably going to find, you know, Billy Bob's Yard and Pool if that's mobile friendly, because they want it quick, they want it easy, they don't want to mess around, they don't want to have to struggle to find the information they're looking for. And still today, 70%, and it's probably even larger than that, 70% of small businesses don't have mobile websites yet. There may be a lot that have websites, but they don't have mobile websites. This is not an internet savvy group. Certainly you're going to have your, you know, your markets that are a little bit more technologically advanced, but by and large, most of these small businesses are not technically very savvy or internet savvy, and they're not going to have mobile websites. It's an opportunity for you to step in and literally be their savior and not only help them, but help yourself and grab that kind of income that we've been talking about. So it's really an opportunity that hasn't been, there hasn't been much like this in a long, long time. And you could be started as soon as today. So instead of, you know, the same old getting on the merry-go-round, constantly buying this, that, you know, oh crap, this sucks, doesn't work, or oh, I got scammed, or whatever. Instead of all that same nonsense, you know, when we talked about, when we did the last poll, some people have been doing this for 5 years. But a lot of people from 1 to 5, between 1 and 5 years, it's a lot of time to have made little to nothing, if not lost money. So instead of buying and trying every next big thing, what about focusing on something that works? Something like this, something that's simple, effective, and that works. So if you did that, don't you think you could actually get that success you've been looking for? I mean, everybody kind of has their own dreams. I certainly don't want to insert my own opinion of what your dreams are. But, when you are making that kind of money, unless you have an enormous monthly nut, if you're adding an extra 5 figures a month after, a couple of months of effort of really, packing in the customers through you and your own sales team, or doing some of the LinkedIn stuff we talked about, I mean, that's the kind of thing where you really can make your life the way that you want it, whether you're on the road all the time, whether you stay at home in your basement like I do, whatever you want to do. You've got cash flow. Cash is not an issue, bills are not an issue, and this is recurring income that we're talking about. So if you had all of this stuff, the system, using the sales strategies we talked about, it's absolutely reasonable to put in an extra 5 figures into your account, for next year within 30 to 45 days, and maybe more, if you really go at it without experience, without tech savvy. You saw how simple the system was. You don't need experience to go talk to any of these people, especially if you take it from the warm market approach first. So you probably know what you would do with that kind of money. You probably know what you would do with that kind of time. I personally, and I think Steven's probably very similar, I like to travel with the family. I like to build my business. I mean, I'm adding to this part of the business. Everything that we talked about today, I'm doing as well. Other opportunities, investments, and whatnot that we're getting involved with, I mean, that's the kinds of things that money allows. It allows you to expand and diversify and grow. So you're probably wondering, what's in the box? What do I get? Okay, so before we talk about what's in the box, 2 things. You have to, if you're going to really consider this, you have to be able to, tell yourself, look, I'm going to go after it, I'm going to do it, and you got to take action. I mean, it's not going to work if you don't take action. That's just, plain and simple. That's how it is, and that's why so many people get stuck in the merry-go-round, because they get into it and realize they can't take an action either because they don't want to, it doesn't work. With this, you got to get in, you got to be consistent, and you have to take action. But it is a hugely, potentially profitable opportunity for anybody that does. And of course, you got to be willing to make a little bit of an investment in yourself and your business. So in return for that, in return for those 2 things, we will give you the tools, MobiMimic, that we just showed you, that can help change your life, literally. So here's what's in the box. So what you're getting with MobiMimic today. Get the MobiMimic system, what Steven showed you, the demo, basically kind of the instant, site converter that converts websites to mobile and then allows you to edit them and tweak them as you see fit on the fly. You get that. That gives you an opportunity to generate hundreds, thousands of mobile websites, as many basically as you can create, and get that same number of customers paying you a monthly recurring fee. You get sales team tools. I talked earlier about hiring a sales team, my own Craigslist ad. We're gonna provide that for you. Also provide some agreements for you for salespeople, and sales tools. Local clients we talked about for the folks that don't like to sell. Talked about doing some email pitches. There's email pitch templates available. Business agreements for signing new clients, for talking about scope of work in advance so that you're not getting yourself into something where someone's going to be constantly asking you for more. It's an agreement in advance. We've got those documents. Training tools. MobiMimic's very easy to use. What Steven showed you is, it's pretty much that simple. You kind of go through the builder and hit the save buttons. But it also has full video training, so you're not going to get lost. You're not going to have any problems whatsoever with the training that's available. And if we were just to kind of high level everything. I mean, really, this thing is valued in the tens of thousands of dollars. MobiMimic by itself, I mean, Stephen and I paid a heck of a lot more than $99.97 to have it built, you know, from the ground up. But you're getting it for not even close to that. And I mean, it's no limit updates, no monthly fees, pointing and clicking your way to mobile websites for as many clients as you can. The Craigslist salesperson wanted ad template we talked about. The salesperson agreement, you know, we had our attorney whip up some documents, so you don't have to. The salesperson agreement to make sure that when you do hire somebody, if you hire a new salesperson, you guys each know exactly what is expected of one another. So that way there's no, you know, no funny business, and you're not going to lose out. You're going to get exactly what you want when you hire somebody. The local client sales pitch email template that we already talked about. The local client business proposal and agreement for scope of work and for locking them down into a recurring cash deal. And then local client payment pack. You know, this is invoice, receipt, late notice, disconnect notice, all those kinds of things. Remember, we talked about these are kind of the good problems to have, right? Now you have to deal with accounting and where's my money coming in from and who's sending me money today. Those are the good problems. Those are the business problems. And again, the video training we talked about already. It is very intuitive and easy to use. I'm not exactly Johnny Technology, but I can use it with no problem. So I can pretty much vouch for almost anybody being able to use it.
I think your daughter uses it better than you do.
That is most likely very accurate. So if we were to value this up, total value of $10,839, and honestly, you couldn't have this built for yourself at anywhere near this amount of money. Well, let's go back to the polls for a second. I'm going to do something here.
Yay, a poll.
Yes, and this is the last one. I will not poll anyone else anymore. So, seriously, if you had to think about this, if you literally had to think about this, to give yourself an opportunity to make an extra, not, you know, an extra 5 or 6 figures a year, how much would you be willing to invest to do that? An extra 5 or 6 figures a year, a real.
Are you talking about no matter what?
A real proven method and a tool to do that. How much would you really be able to? Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. That's right. Right. Like, I mean, it's, you know, will I exchange $5,000 for $10,000? Yes.
I'll do this all day long, yes. Will
I exchange $5,000 for $20,000? Absolutely. Right. So there's no I'm not surprised that the answers are coming in like this. Mostly yes, some oh my God, yes. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, come on, let's be honest. You know, that kind of exchange absolutely makes sense. And I mean, really, why wouldn't you do that? You'd be, you know, I mean, one exchange for another. It's just ridiculous to think otherwise. So let's go ahead and close this down. I know people are still voting, but the lion's share are definitely yes or oh my God, yes. This is the follow-up. So if you're ready to change your life and you're ready to do it in a way that we described, the simple, effective method, not new nonsense that you have to learn or try to figure out, or, you know, SEO or affiliate or PPC. I mean, and let's be honest, anytime you buy one of these next big things, you know, when they sell these things for $27, $37, $47, you realize, I hope, that there's no way that's all you're putting into it in order to get something out of it. Right? Like, I mean, yeah, that's how they're all sold, but it's just not going to happen. So, you know, don't even mention the learning curve that would go into some of these different systems, assuming they actually work. You know, if let's say PPC, if you're buying pay-per-click traffic to an affiliate offer or to your own offer, I mean, then you have to create your own offer. You know, that costs time and money. That could be tens of thousands of dollars. PPC traffic, pay-per-click, that costs money, and you have to optimize for pay-per-click traffic, which costs money again. If you're PPC to an affiliate offer, you can't do that with Google these days, but you could do that with Bing. you're going to spend money to send traffic to that affiliate offer.
Then you got to spend money to
optimize.
figure out how to spy on the ads that are working, and then you got to figure out how to spend money on something else that you didn't know about, and
I mean, look, all of these things, even if they work, and because we all know that they don't all work, but even if they work, you have a learning curve and you have expense. And as we saw from the first, was it the first or the second poll that we took, most of the people on this call today who have been in here even more than a year, up to 5 years, have not pulled any money out of the internet yet. You can't chase things anymore. You have to find something that works, something that's simple, something that's
You
effective.
know what else that I really like about this is while you work on this and while I work on this, we're actually building a real world asset. You can't take your affiliate business, even if you're making money in your affiliate business, you can't take that affiliate business and sell it to somebody else. It's not a real asset. It's just income. But when you're building a business based on MobiMimic and selling mobile websites to clients, that's a real business that you could actually, build up to 6-7 figures a year and then turn around and sell it for much, much more money.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So, we've given you guys a lot of stuff to think about today, but the reality of the situation is this is definitely an easy method for making money, and that doesn't mean that you don't have to put anything into it, because certainly you do. You're not going to make money in your sleep, but once you start building up the recurring income, you will get some sleepy time money. But really, the fact is when you realize that there's such a huge potential market for these mobile websites, it's actually a need, and when people see these things live and in person, huge impact. And you don't even have to do the selling. You can let someone else do it for you. There are people out there. Maybe it's a relative of yours. Maybe it's a friend of yours. Maybe you do what I did and you hire out from the cold. There's all kinds of opportunity. There's all kinds of people out there willing to hustle and grind if you're not. You pay them a commission. You sit in the comfort of your home. Or try the LinkedIn methodology. I mean, you couldn't ask for a more targeted captive audience with the LinkedIn methodology that we talked about. So how much? Some of you may have already hit the page. Some of you may not have. But
some people are saying they can't get to the page.
Oh, try a trailing backslash after that. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, we'll get around to it.
So how much? If you're trying to get to the page and you can't get to the page and you're waiting for the page, we'll just recap this real quick. It's $10,800 plus in value. If you try to build MobiMimic yourself, you would definitely pay more than that. Many of you said you would just pay $5,000, and quite a few of you said, "Oh my God, yes, I would pay $5,000 for that kind of exchange." Forget $5,000, not even $3,000, not even $1,497, just $997 one time. There's no monthly fees, no monthly payments, one time. And if you couldn't get to the URL before, and this is limited availability, by the way, this will not be open for long. If you could not get to this before, you go to mobimimic.com/profit, add that trailing backslash after profit.
Yep, it needs that.
Did that work for you, Stephen?
Absolutely.
Yep, so you need that trailing backslash. So it's mobimimic.com/profit/. So we got some good news, and we got some bad news. First, the good news: you're not going to pay $10,000 plus to get MobiMimic in your hands today, and you can sell mobile websites as soon as you have it in your hands and start getting your way to that extra 5 or 6 figures. And this is that time of year where people start making resolutions. If you've resolved to finally have success in 2013, this is a very real, legitimate way to do that. The learning curve really isn't any. We talked about things that you can do today to start selling these sites. The tool, obviously MobiMimic is the tool. But there's some bad news. This is a limited time offer. This is definitely a limited time offer. Stephen and I don't keep offers open. When we say we're closing them, we close them. So you need to act. You need to make that decision, get off the fence, jump at the opportunity if you're ready to really get serious about something for this year. Also, just as a side point, especially with the end of the year quickly approaching, this is an actual, real business expense. So, talk to your accountant. I'm not an accountant, so I don't want you to come back and say, oh, no, I'm not able to do that in my county, my country, my state, whatever. But check with your accountant. This is a real business expense. There could be some write-off opportunity for you on this where the cost could be paid for by itself through the business expense. So don't neglect that at all. Again, the URL right there for you, mobimimic.com/profit/ if you want to check out the offer in full. And then, of course, we're here for questions. We realize you have been with us for quite some time today. We appreciate your time. We know it's a little bit after the holidays, so all kinds of craziness for you. But if you have any questions, we're here for your questions. The URL is still up for you, mobimimic.com/profit/. But if you've got some questions, let's fire away. And Stephen, my question box is missing, so.
All right, I'll find the questions. Okay. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Will a replay be available? I think we covered that as best we can. For Android and iPhone, yep, this should work on any mobile device. It'll work on Androids, iPhones, Blackberries. Mobile host on my site. Let's see here. I'm going to expand this a little bit so I can read them and get the names. So bear with me. The screen flashes a little bit. So, Andreas has asked, a mobile host on my host, and I don't quite understand that. If you want to expand on that, I'd be happy to come back to that. Okay, so Sheldon Hall has asked, how would people originally go to this mobile site? Well, I showed you guys a link for Chico Yard, and the way that works, Sheldon, is that there's a code snippet that you place, and it actually spits it out. You saw where I copied it from inside the MobiMimic software. You grab that whole section of code, and you put it on the customer's main page, the very first page that people land on. So in this case, it would have been chicoyardandpool.com, the index HTML, the index PHP page. You put it in the header of that. Really, really simple to do, and we've got instructions on how to do it in the software. We've got a video for it. But once they put it on there, when anybody accesses that web page from a mobile device, it automatically understands it's a mobile device and redirects them. So it's completely thoughtless. So what happens is somebody's accessing the user's website from, in this case, Chico Yard and Pool. If they're accessing that website from the internet, it just goes straight to the page. It looks big enough, everything's good. But if they're accessing it from a mobile device, it clicks over automatically and goes to the other page. So it's not like you have to send a person to the mobile page because it all happens automatically for the client. Okay. And if that doesn't answer it, feel free to come back with a follow-up question there, Sheldon. Let's see. How does this tool work with search and Google Maps? It works very easily. You simply get a Google Maps link and attach it to a button, and Google Maps is then fully integrated with the tool. That's the question and answer for Nolan there. And again, same kind of question out of Thomas about how to redirect to the mobile website from the main website. Couple of, hey, great ideas, can't wait to get started. Okay, here's a good one, John, and instead of me just sitting here answering questions, I'll let you jump in on this one. So can we host the site after it's built? Jeff is asking, can we host the site after it's built, or do we have to host it with you guys?
Say that again. My headset's breaking up.
Okay, so Jeff was asking, can we host the site after it is built? I think he meant by the mobile site, or do we have to host it with you guys?
Yeah, no, I mean, MobiMimic is yours. You would not be hosting anything with us. Did I understand the question correctly?
Yeah, I think he was asking the mobile site. So it's not like you're using the tool to build the mobile site and then taking the mobile site somewhere and installing it, Jeff. What happens is you use MobiMimic, you install that on your own servers, and it runs there and automatically works for you. You don't have to do anything with us. Movie Mimic is a program that you would install on your own servers and use yourself. David says, time to scrape up the money. Couple of link not workings. Okay, now we're getting back into the okay, how much is. David asked, who's giving the commissions to offer this tool? Okay. And I don't know if you're asking us or who is paying you, or what. I think what David meant, John, was who is giving us the money? I'm actually not quite sure. Maybe you could...
if you want to expand on that, David. All right, I got my question thing open finally here. This is cool.
Okay.
So, Kathy, what if they don't have a website? Well, that's an interesting opportunity. I mean, so I can tell you, so the very first one that I closed, which I closed in about 10 minutes, and literally it just took him seeing the mobile website. I said, how much are you willing to pay for that? He's like, I'll pay you $200 a month for that. I mean, he was that excited about it. Once he saw the the site and decided he wanted to move forward with the mobile site, he then came to me and asked, I want to talk to you about other things you can do with my website, my main site. Like, he began exploring upsell opportunities without me bringing it up. So, if they don't have a website, if you have a comfort level, with getting one built for them, whether through a template that you have, some private label rights stuff or whatever, and that's an opportunity for you to make even more money, So whatever you think, you can charge, and I find for a lot of people when they're kind of just starting off, they have a hard time asking for what they're truly worth. So a lot of times people will kind of lowball starting off, and then will kind of increase their pricing as they get more comfortable with things. So maybe if it's your first one, you kind of come in with a lower price, do some templating, and help them flesh out a main website, and then you charge them monthly for the mobile site as we talked about, or you charge them monthly for both. You got a reseller hosting account, you host their website for them. I mean, that just presents more opportunities. It's definitely not going to make it easier for you to build the mobile site, but at the same time, here's a client that is potentially worth significantly more money than the mobile site alone. So again, I call that one of those good problems to have. Yeah,
outsource that and cash in on that one as well, Okay, so Monique was asking about payment plans. You there, John? Did I fall off?
Yeah. So we don't currently have a payment plan. Well, I was looking at her next comment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Monique, if that's your background, MX, Mary Kay, absolutely, you could kill it with this. There's no question. Unfortunately, we don't have a payment plan at this time. We've done that in the past for other things that we've created, and we've gotten burned too many times, and it just makes it really hard to keep coming back and doing that again and again. And we recognize that it's helpful for some folks, but unfortunately, it's a one price deal at this point. Okay, so Ricardo, does Moby Mimic host the mobile sites after they are built and sold to a client automatically? Stephen, you want to?
Again, that's kind of coming back to the same question. It's just asked in a little bit different way. With this offering, you are getting the software itself. You install it on your own host. You install it on your own servers. We don't host anything. You're getting the software. You install it. You use it. We provide the training. We provide the tools. We provide the knowledge to make it all work. But you don't have to host anything on our sites because the tool is installed and hosted on your own servers. Does that answer your question, Ricardo? Okay. Don is asking if we have arrangements with hosting companies. Yes, we absolutely do. And as you purchase, we've actually got a few different ways, a few different options for you after you purchase. You know, some people already have hosting. They already know how to set up databases. They're pretty technically savvy. And, you know, those people will simply just tell us what their database username and password are, and we'll go ahead and build the software for them so they can automatically install it. There are other people that have hosts but don't know how to create a database, and we've got some training videos for those. And then there are those people who say, you know what, I need, you know, some place for this to live, for the software to live. I need hosting, and we have an option for those people as well. We've got a very good server that we can put those things on.
Okay, so do we have any other questions? I'm just having a hard time with my question box here. Ah, here's one from earlier. Love your puppies. Thank you. I love them too, although they're quite rowdy. Some demon tracking.
Yes, we didn't hear them at all today. That was unusual.
I know, but so I got the family home for the Christmas holidays, and I think they kept them busy and entertained upstairs. So
It's very good. Very good.
Steak 500. Yeah, I'm sure we've made a few in this presentation. All right, yeah, like all these questions are just popping up for me. Recording.
Yeah, you're hitting all the early ones now. I think we've covered most of them. So if you've got any last-minute questions, you know. So Nolan is asking, why would the carpet cleaning company pay a monthly fee? You know, for me, it's the same reason they pay a monthly fee to have a website. It's the same reason they pay a monthly fee for advertising, to be in the Yellow Pages, whatever it is. I mean, Yellow Pages only prints a book once a year. They, you know, charge them every single month. It's just business, you know. I mean, and why would they pay the monthly fee? Because they want a mobile site. They see the value in it, and maybe you can come back and cover some of that, John, instead of me just waffling over here.
I mean, I think you covered it mostly. You know, the reality of the situation is, you know, you're providing them a service. You know, if they stop paying you, you shut off the mobile site. Period. You know, I mean, they pay a monthly fee for their own website, whether they realize it or not, through the hosting. So if anything, you could sort of say that you're hosting their mobile website for them. At the very least, you're maintaining their mobile website for them. And additionally, you know, and again, it's up to you in terms of how you want to price things. Like for me, I kind of have this idea in my head that I price a flat fee per page per month, which then incorporates any potential edits or content changes that I might make. So you could do it that way, you know what I mean? Like you could say, okay, look, well, I'm going to charge you this, and that way if you need me to change the testimonial picture on your front page, you know, let's say you've got a fitness instructor client. What's the thing that they want on their front page besides the contact call me button is a bunch of people that have lost weight and are now in shape, right? So maybe you will offer to kind of handle that kind of part of the process for them if they ask, and that reinforces why there's a value for you to be charging a monthly maintenance fee. The reality of the situation is, though, guys, bottom line, most of these small business owners that you're going to deal with really are not very internet savvy. So they're probably not going to have those kinds of questions. For the ones that do, you know, I mean, that's a very reasonable response to that type of question. I mean, you are providing a service, and they're going to pay you for it monthly. I mean, you know, when my plumber comes and fixes my stuff, you know, I don't ask him why he's charging me the service fee, you know, whether he does anything or not. It's just, that's the way that it is.
Okay, so David was asking he'll need a processing tool for all the accounts.
Oh, good question,
yeah.
David. So let me just talk about, so my experience, well, I mean, certainly there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to use PayPal because it's the quick and dirty and it's the easy. But I would recommend, if you don't do PayPal or don't want to do PayPal, to check out Stripe. I am currently in love with Stripe. It's definitely not for the faint at heart from a development standpoint. So you want to find somebody that's good with code to help you out unless you're good with code. But Stripe is absolutely perfect for this type of scenario. It's full-blown merchant processing. Stripe, S-T-R-I-P-E, Stripe, as in, stripes. Absolutely check them out if you are not familiar with them yet. Those guys are fantastic. They're very developer friendly. You can customize them any which way. Problem is it's very developer oriented, but basically standard merchant processing gets direct deposited to your business checking account or your checking account that you provide them with, and looks like a full-blown professional business versus just coming in and setting up a PayPal subscription. All right, so any other questions? I know you've spent some time with us today. Stripe.com. Here, let me, we're still looking at my screen?
Yes. Is it stripe.com? It is stripe.com.
That's the one. Stripe.com. Yep, no problem, David. All right, so do we have any other, am I missing any of the questions? This box, what's going on? I hear you typing, Stephen. Are you getting to other questions that we have? What do we got going on here?
Yeah, just some of the questions that are I don't quite understand. Rather than while you're talking and asking, I'm trying to get a better feel for them.
Okay. Well, let's do this. I mean, we've been on now almost 2 hours.
Yeah. Wow.
Certainly, we appreciate your time today. It's been our pleasure to do this. Hopefully you found some value out of this no matter what you decide to do today. And if you have any additional questions, drop us a line. Our support staff is very responsive, marketershelp.com. Hit us up there, or hit me on my email, john@marketershelp.com. I'd be glad to answer any other questions that you have. Otherwise, we're going to try to get this recording
this big recording. This might take a while.
We're going to try to get this rendered and released. We'll see what we can do about that today, but it'll probably take us a couple of days just based on recent experience. So drop us a question at marketershelp.com, or drop me an email. That's fine as well, and we will answer you as quickly as we can. And other than that, again, appreciate the time. Stephen, anything else before we close it out?
No, I'm good. We'll see you guys on the inside, and we're here to support you and work with you.
All right, thanks everybody.